I was a pretty easygoing fella who was able to entertain himself, pretty up for anything, loved life, and loved people telling me that I couldn't do something and then trying to prove them wrong. Cerebral palsy for me as a kid was full on. I was diagnosed at 18 months when I didn't make the milestones that my mother thought I would. Surgery started at probably around about 5 to 6. Leg lengthening for destroying growth plates to try and have the left leg catch up to the right leg. Operations after operations just to make things as even as possible. Every day of my life there was some sort of pain, so it wasn't out of the ordinary, it was just what I had to deal with. You know, through it you get mentally stronger, and that's what I think has made me, is that I'm now stronger because of my childhood and my experiences.
Right, this is the only mass Ironman start in the world.
Lockdown 2020 was obviously quite interesting for everyone, but for me it was a very lonely time, and for the first time on weekends I had not much to do. Every day you just had to mentally get up and realise, hey, you know, everyone's going through this. There's things here that I've wanted to do for a long time and never had the time to do, so why not now? So I came in, sat down and wrote down 42 life goals and 5 steps to achieve each one. So cerebral palsy is a condition where your brain has been starved of oxygen for a certain amount of time in the womb. For me, I was very fortunate to have just minor cerebral palsy, which means weakness down the whole side of my body, a lot less muscle tone on the left-hand side, which when it comes to Ironman, it's a tricky one because my left foot lands on the ball of the foot, which means it heats up incredibly fast and I have to sometimes cool the foot. Cycling, I have more pressure obviously to try and keep the left side going, as the right has to kind of do double the work. In the water, the left arm fatigues considerably. The left leg has nowhere near the power than the right, so I have to keep an eye on coming up each time I do a stroke to make sure that I'm going in the right direction, because quite easily I can veer off due to the fact that the right leg is kicking more than the left.
A little bit behind in schedule.
How's your body handle the cold?
Not great.
IMNZ New Zealand cycle course.
Kurt, well, he's a unique individual, but I say that in the best way possible. He's just a one-of-a-kind person. In that sense, in his attitude and his mindset, there's no excuses. He never lets anything from his past affect who he is in the present. With his cerebral palsy, a lot of our first months of training was just getting him used to moving his body, which is very unique under load. He's a very committed, dedicated, open-minded person, you know, and that's been one of the best things for me to be able to do my job as his trainer and as as a friend as he is, you know, willing to give anything a try. If he's been training for long hours and he's coming to the gym with me, you'll never hear a complaint from him. Kurt's saying is send it deep, and that can mean a lot of things, but to me I take that as, you know, do everything to the best of your ability, and no matter what happens, you know you've done your best. I've tried to take some of those attitudes, personality traits from him and kind of bring it into myself to better myself as a person.
The competitive side of me is huge. The outlet for me was go-karting at a young age.
Daniel Eggleton out in front. And who's that? It's Kurt Peterson's moved up through the field. Yeah. He's a bit of a dark horse, isn't he? Yeah, trying to get the jump on the start and he's finding all.
For a kid with cerebral palsy, motorsport was a leveller in the sense that you had your team, you had your go-kart, you had yourself. I could rely on it more than I could if it was just myself. So I progressed from go-kart to Formula Ford at age 16. I was 5th in the championship in 2008 and got 3rd in the national championship only 4 years ago. It was a situation where I had to, you know, give it everything you've got, otherwise, you know, what's the point? I would say 110% I had something to prove. So Team Motive are a disabled motor racing team where everyone in the team, crew and drivers, have a form of disability. We have 3 drivers, one that has no legs, one that has no use of their legs, and then there's me who has minor cerebral palsy, which is pretty damn exciting. And for those who get that chance, it's fantastic, because back in the day when I was growing up, there was absolutely nothing like this. I've always wanted to help people, and for me, teach them how to drive motorsport is just a huge reward. This is a great way to kind of showcase that people with disabilities can be race car drivers. There was definitely a point where I had to accept I do have cerebral palsy. The younger me would have been frustrated in the sense that I wanted to beat everyone at anything. And as I've matured, I've become more accepting of my cerebral palsy. You know, I'm not necessarily going out to win or beat everyone. I'm there to showcase what someone with cerebral palsy or disabilities can do if they put their mind to it. The motto, anything is possible, is huge because it's something that I've actually sort of embodied my whole life. If you mentally rehearse failure, of course you're gonna fail miserably. If you believe it enough and you work hard enough at it, you will achieve the goal. I do a lot of visualization of crossing the finish line for the Ironman, how the crowd's going to be, how the sound is, what actions I'm going to do, so that for me it's already in place, it's already in process, it's already something that's been done, it's going to happen, and it's just complete the process.
Yeah! Yes! 437! Yes!
People with disabilities can be as competitive as those with able body and can push themselves, and if they're determined enough, they can do whatever they want. And you've got the dream and you've got the determination and the dedication. anything is possible.
All done. Finally. Ah, wow. Woo!